A dangerous severe weather potential is shaping up across parts of the United States, from severe weather in the Pacific Northwest to a potential for tropical development in parts of Florida. So in today's forecast, I'm going to be breaking down what you need to know about the severe weather over the next few days, so let's get right into the forecast. We are going to start off with our outlooks by the Storm Prediction Center. As you can see here, we do have a marginal risk out here in parts of southern Maine, northern New Hampshire, and northern Vermont today, where we could see a few isolated severe storms as storms will be coming down from Canada and moving through the region. It's not really expected to be too crazy. Out here for Philadelphia, we could be seeing a few isolated storms down there and around New York. So we're going to expect to see a few damaging storms out there that will mainly produce a potential for damaging winds and hail. So you guys want to be watching that closely there. And I definitely recommend to strap down unsecured objects and park your car in a garage so that it doesn't get damaged by hail. So you guys definitely want to be making sure to have multiple ways to receive weather alerts today, especially if you're outdoors. We could see a few severe storms over here in parts of northern Oregon and southeastern Washington today. So if you're out here, you guys want to be making sure you're having a way to get alerts. But it isn't looking like that big of a concern out here, but you guys want to watch it very closely as we could see a few isolated storms out here. And then out here in Billings, Montana, a few isolated severe storms will be a possibility in Billings, Montana. And if we go ahead and go down towards western Texas, we could see a few storms out here. We're mainly looking at a chance for a potential for an isolated tornado, actually. So Austin, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, you guys want to be making sure to have a way to get alerts, because believe it or not, we got a potential for a tornado out here. You can see a few isolated severe storms out here for Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona, as we're going to get storms to push through, producing a potential for some gusty winds to maybe even severe winds. So you guys want to be making sure to watch that very closely there, as it is looking like a pretty significant threat. Storms will develop in the northeast later today once we get more instability to pop up out here and more daylight heating out here in the northeast. So you guys want to watch out for that. Maybe a few isolated storms. It's not going to be widespread or anything, but maybe a few isolated storms will move through the region out here. And then out there around New York City, we're going to have a few storms push through out here where we could be seeing some damaging winds and hail. This will mainly be towards the evening hours. I think we'll start to see storms developing maybe around 10 p.m. Eastern. There is some uncertainties with this, and it's conditional. If storms develop, they could be severe, but we don't completely know if they will. So out there in parts of New Jersey and in parts of New York, you guys want to watch that very closely, as there will be a potential for a few severe storms today. We are also expected to see a few isolated severe storms out here in parts of the northern Rockies today. It isn't looking like anything too crazy, but that winds that come off the Rocky Mountains will kind of make those storms so that they can produce some gusty winds and everything like that. There's also more ingredients out here that make those gusty winds happen, like we got plenty of storm fuel out here in these areas. So you guys want to be being prepared for these storms out here, as they could turn severe. We could also see a few storms out here in parts of western Texas today. And it's not also just the tornado threat down here in western Texas for the San Antonio area. We're also going to have a massive flood risk that is going to be setting up in these areas. So around San Antonio, a massive flood risk is going to be taking place out here. We're going to see a lot of rain. A high risk is in place out here. As you can see, a high risk for flash flooding is placed over these regions out here today. So you guys want to be making sure to be prepared to get to higher ground and make sure you have your flood action plan ready, as rain getting up to 10 inches, even more, is going to be on the table. A lot of rain is going to be out here. So if you encounter any flooded roads out here today, make sure to turn around and don't drown. Just today, we could see rainfall amounts getting up to around 5 inches, which is a lot out here. So you guys want to watch that closely. I would say the hot spots are going to be around Kerrville, Texas, as there's going to be a lot of rain with these storms. And it's not even the rain threat only. It's also going to be the tornado threat. So you guys want to be watching this very closely. There's going to be enough spin out here to spin up maybe an isolated brief tornado. So this is a very concerning setup out here. You're not trying to scare anything, but you want to be making sure to be staying hyper weather aware today and have multiple ways to receive weather alerts. We're just going to have some storms throughout the day, starting this afternoon out here in parts of the southwest out here in Arizona. A few storms will develop, producing some gusty winds from the afternoon into the evening, even through the overnight hours. So Prescott, Flagstaff, Phoenix, Tucson, and around those areas out here in Arizona. You guys want to be watching for maybe a potential for a few severe storms. If you're out here in Helena, Montana tomorrow on Thursday, you're gonna watch for maybe a potential for an isolated severe storm. Though I'm not too concerned about it. But Helena, Montana tomorrow, just keep an eye on maybe an isolated severe storm. As we're gonna get some storms to push through out here, but definitely not looking like anything too concerning. The main threat is gonna be some damaging winds and maybe some small hail. Thursday, I'm not too concerned about anything. Maybe just some widespread amounts of thunderstorms all the way from the Midwest into parts of the Rockies and the Southern Plains. So it's just going to be a very stormy day on Friday. And if you're out in these areas on Friday, mainly within these highlight areas, you guys want to be prepared for maybe some thunderstorms. The flash flood threat out here in western Texas is expected to continue into tomorrow, as we're going to continue to get a pretty crazy amount of rain. And I wouldn't rule out a high risk being issued for flash flooding tomorrow. So this is a pretty catastrophic flash flood situation out here. So you guys want to be having a way to get alerts, like I said earlier. Be prepared to take higher ground if you end up in a flash flood warning. While all this is happening, we have a different threat setting up out here in western California and parts of the Rockies, as we do have some wind gusts that are going to help produce a potential for fire weather, as well as dry conditions out here in the Rockies and western California. So if you're out here in these regions, you want to be prepared for maybe some fire weather and be prepared for maybe some wildfires, and just don't try to start any wildfires or anything like that, and stay tuned to your local officials. This is expected to continue as we get into tomorrow on Thursday in Fresno, California, up into parts of southeastern Oregon. We have a threat for tropical development out here for Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa, Florida. So you guys want to be being prepared for maybe some flooding, mainly some flooding, but tropical depression is a possibility next week as a stalling cold front is going to push through, bringing conditions that could favor a potential for a tropical depression to form. It will not be a hurricane, so don't worry about hurricanes out here, but worry about that major flooding that could happen out here in Jacksonville, Florida, Orlando, and Tampa, Florida, mainly those areas, even in around those areas as well. As next week a storm is going to push through, and it's going to be very slow moving, and it's going to dump a lot of rain out here. So be prepared for that, and also make sure to stay tuned to the National Hurricane Center for more updates, and this also could produce some gusty winds. Another thing I'm watching is a storm system that will move through on Saturday, July 18th out here in parts of the Great Lakes region. We could see a storm system come through, bringing severe weather down from the Great Lakes region into the mid-Atlantic. So we'll have to watch this closely. The models are still showing maybe a low-pressure system developing out here. So this could be maybe a squall line, maybe not. So mainly clusters of storms that could bring some damaging winds across these regions out here in the mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley. But we'll keep you guys updated. A lot of stuff is going to change, but this could bring some severe weather. But we're not going to get too detailed into this yet. And that is pretty much all the weather talk I have for you today. Make sure to comment down below, and I'll respond to every comment that you guys make. And I'll keep you guys updated on the weather over the next few days. So click that subscribe button and click that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.